Do you find it hard to keep faith on your twin flame journey? Are you filled with doubts due to what other people say? Are you questioning everything because you're in separation? Sometimes it can be very difficult to trust in what we feel, because what it's showing us in the 3D is a lot different to what is being felt on the 5D. But we have to remember that each of our journeys are very unique. So listen to what you feel within and stop looking without for those messages and that truth, because the truth is within you. So my name is Angela Keary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is our biggest kind of test on our twin flame journey. It is literally the fight, the battle of the ego versus soul. It's like literally, what do I believe? Because what I see in the physical is not what I feel on the 5D, on the spiritual. And that's it. When we're in separation from our twin, it can be very easy to doubt what is actually going on. You know, their actions, their behavior might make you feel like that you're wrong. And that's another thing. Like, you know, we've been on this journey for such a long time. And because of our unhealed wounds, we can question a lot. And that's due to our unworthiness as well. But it's also due to asking the wrong people for advice. So, you know, you ask a non-twin flame for advice. They're going to tell you you're crazy. They're going to tell you this isn't real. They're going to tell you this isn't possible. And they're going to try and veer you off path. And they're like, that's not your type. That person isn't for you. But you know what? Jesus Christ, this bugs me so much. Like, this is on dating shows as well. Like, it's like, that person's not your type. It's like, your type didn't fucking work. Oh my God, your type was fucking toxic. You know what I mean? And your family, your friends are going, geez, that person's completely different to anyone that you've ever known before. Me ex was a fucking narcissist. Me other ex was a misogynist. For fuck's sake, like, obviously my type didn't work. And this is the thing, your twin flame matches who you really are. You know what I mean? Whereas in the past, you went for stuff or people, or, you know, that matched your low vibrational energy, matched the fake you, the you that you were because of that unhealed wounding. Whereas now that you're healed or healing, your twin flame actually matches who you really are at a core soul level, the person you were always meant to be. So that's the fact, right? So don't let other people's opinions make you doubt. And there's another thing that one of the reasons I did this video today, or doing this video today, is because I'm a moderator on a twin flame site. It's called I Am Twin Flame. And literally, you know, there's all walks of life there. And people are all in their different areas of their journey. And that's fair enough, because every journey is unique. Nothing is the same. But there's so many negators. Oh my God. Ones that obviously are not facing their healing. Ones that are in denial about their journey. And they're like, union isn't real. Union's not going to happen. You're full of, you're delusional. And all this kind of stuff coming up. And I'm like, oh my God, seriously. Just because you're bruised, just because you're not in union, and just because you're not following your twin flame path, and just because you're avoiding your healing, doesn't mean you have to shit all over everyone else's journey. And that's a fact. Like, and then obviously true twin flames, they're questioning everything. They're questioning, like, oh my God, what's this all for? You know, is union going to happen? Am I wrong? And like, that's like, even that smallest seed can actually make you doubt your journey. And like, literally, it's like, people, oh my God, if you're, heal your fucking shit. I'm sorry, but if you're bitter and trying to literally drag everyone else down to your level, look in the mirror and do some healing, will ya? Because, like, you know, just because your journey is different does not mean it's the same for everyone else. And that's a fact. Every journey is unique. You know, not everyone ends up in union. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they're not doing the fucking healing. The whole objective of the twin flame connection is to heal, to come to a place of inner union first. You know what I mean? To be complete on your own, to find unconditional love within yourself. But if you're doing all that hard work, the universe is going to reward you with divine love, with that divine connection, with that divine union. And that's a fucking fact. You know, and then you have these naysayers coming in and going, oh, you know, this is bullshit. And it's like, yeah, because your journey is yours and your journey isn't working out because you're not doing the inner work. So don't shit all over people who are doing the inner work. And this is where it's so important to trust in your soul, trust in your heart, trust in what you feel. This is a fact. You know, and once you're doing that work, once you're doing that healing, once you're growing and evolving, you're becoming who you're truly meant to be. Your twin is going to mirror that energy. And the two of you are going to evolve into union together, but only when you choose yourselves first. And that's it. Like, you know, it's all about you. You know, and like, this is another thing as well. We ask ourselves, like, why our twin is running, or why aren't they choosing us? Ask yourself the same question, because it's mirroring energy. What are you running from? Why are you not choosing yourself? And that's it. You have to choose yourself first, and they have to choose themselves first. That's the only way this is going to work. But that's where you find your truth, is in choosing yourself, in facing what's within you. And this is so, like, I have so many people commenting as well, getting so angry, like, this is so hard, this is so painful, you know, this is, you know, why are we being punished kind of energy. And it's just like, you're not being punished. Every time you're in pain, this is a loud message for you to do your inner work. Every trigger, every bit of anger, and I don't, you know, it's all there to show you something. You know what I mean? And I'm not, like, I'm still healing all the time. And don't get me wrong, I've been in those stages of anger and bitterness, going, fuck you, why are you running? And like, I have to understand that, like, that's not going to get me anywhere. If you're angry with your twin flame, if you're blaming them for how you're feeling, then you're repelling union. Because every trigger is yours to own. And that's a fact. And I'll say it over and over again. Your trigger is your guide. Your trigger is your biggest teacher. Your trigger is where you're going to find the truth. And that's it. Every time you get angry, every time you get emotional, every time you get frustrated, this is a loud message to say, heal your fucking shit. And that's it. And when you heal, you get to that knowingness, that understanding. So I go through these phases. Like, you know, we get these tests on our twin flame journey. So, like, you know, there could be that intense 5D connection, that telepathic connection. It'll be so loud, and you're like, yay, this is real, this is real, this is real. And then all of a sudden, it just feels like blank. It's like somebody turned off the television, and you're like, what the fuck? And you kind of go through this phase of detachment, and you're like, oh my God, why don't I feel him right now? Like, is this even real? Are we not twins? And then all that doubt comes in and everything. But that's your moment of keeping, it's your test of faith. And it's your test, and it's in those moments of pause, that moment of feeling like the 5G connection has stopped for a minute. It's in those moments that we're really ultimately tested to trust in ourselves and our journey. So it's like, you know, when we're literally, like, as I said, when we're in the intense feelings of that soul side of the connection, it's like, yay, this is real, this is real, this is real. And then all of a sudden it stops and you're like, oh shit, what if it's not real? But that's your moment to keep faith. And that's like, literally, this is when you have to go within and trust. Just because you're never really detached, but there's that test in the middle to kind of say, hey, do you really believe this? Are you really going to trust this? And are you going to move forward anyway? And the objective here anyway is you. So in these moments of pause, separation is preparation. Your objective, your main goal, your main job here on this journey is to heal yourself and is to find your purpose. And when you do those two things, your twin will come back. And that is a fact. It is a fact. You know, I've seen it so many times. It's just, and it's you know, I can feel it happening for me as well. As you do that inner work, as you grow, they're coming back. They really do. And even after long bouts of separation, there's nothing going to stop them from coming back to you unless you don't do the work. The longer the separation is, the more you have to heal. And like, you know, I go through these phases, and it's so funny. It bugs me, like, but I go through these phases of like, right, I've done so much healing, I'm fine, everything is fine, I'm feeling good, everything is fine. And it is, or seems to be. And then all of a sudden, something will really fucking trigger me. Like the last couple of months, I've been going through my unworthiness wound again. I've been going through a lot of anger and stuff. And, you know, it's like, you know, it's funny because, like, before Christmas, I was going through an awful lot of intense healing. And then there was this pause of, you know, actual just feeling bliss, and I surrender mode. And then, there was a little bit of a reunion there in the middle, and then all of a sudden, I was just like, I was on a high again, and I was like, everything's going to be all right. And I was like, oh, yay, it's like blissful energy. And then all of a sudden, there's another trigger, and it's like, everything comes crashing down again. You're like, fuck. And you're kind of wishing that the trigger had happened earlier so that it would be over and done with. And you're kind of going, you know what I mean? I was literally, it's not that you're ignoring it. You know what I mean? But it feels like, shit, was I avoiding this healing for so long? But I think the trigger comes at the exact right time. You know what I mean? So, like, if there is that pause and you're in this blissful surrender energy, and then all of a sudden everything comes crashing down, there's another dark night of the soul, and you're like, fuck. It's not your fault that it was delayed. It happened at the exact moment it was supposed to happen. And this is it. And that's why, and that's when we can get the doubts in and the frustration is like, oh my God, is this ever going to happen? But every time we get frustrated, that actually adds to the separation phase. We have to internalize what we're feeling, and we have to understand what is it that is making us feel this way. Because nothing your twin does is the actual reason, effectively, for you being upset. Because it's a core wound within you. Do you know what I mean? So, like, their behavior can only hurt you based on your own level of wounding and your own lack of healing. So, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get to a stage where if there's a little bit of a delay in conversation or a communication, that it's okay. That you just know with blind faith that this is going to happen. That any bit of gap in communication is for you to introspect. It's for you to look within. Ask yourself those questions. Do you know what I mean? And you need those moments of pause. Because, imagine getting into a divinely orchestrated, magical relationship with somebody and not being ready. It's not going to work. That's why the universe doesn't allow it, because it's not going to work. You're going to fuck it up. You're going to fuck it up, like. You really are. And, like, isn't it so much better to prepare yourself for divine love instead of getting it too early and then fucking the shit up? And that's why we run. That's why we need that time apart, is we need to prepare. Oh my God, like, and I was saying this in a video yesterday. It's like, if you got all your blessings at once and you were still in the depths of your healing and you were still, going through trauma healing, and, you weren't ready for it, you would literally kind of go, shit, run. You know what I mean? And you would sabotage it. You would do everything in your power to unconsciously sabotage it because you wouldn't be ready for it. And, like, that's the thing. Like, you see that with lottery winners. They win the lotto, and then a few months later, they're fucking bankrupt. They're worse off than they were before they won the lotto because they weren't ready to receive it. Now, how would that feel if you were handed your divine... Well, we are handed our divine counterpart, and then it's taken away again. It's just like, ha ha. No, it's not. It's literally like, here, this is a taste of what you can get only if you do the work. And that's what it is. This is what the back and forth energy is. It's that activation. You need to be in contact with your twin to reactivate the next level of healing. And then you go into separation again in order to heal that. And then you come back together. And then obviously that communication will flow more easily when you've healed. So I'm just going to go back to this again. What do you feel? What do you trust? And, like, trust it. Trust in that magic. Trust in what you feel. Like, that telepathic connection is real. That sexual energy you're feeling is real. You meeting them in dreams and on the 5D astral plane, that's real. We're saying that what we see is real. No. What you feel is real. What you see is the illusion. And that's what we have to overcome, is understanding that the truth of a spiritual connection is found within, not without. That is a fact. So don't let naysayers, don't let people on a negative journey who have refused to do their healing set you back or put doubts in your mind. And do not ask non-twin flames for advice on a twin flame connection. Like, unless you really want to stay in separation for a long time, because it will plant seeds of doubt and it will delay everything. You know what I mean? I remember years ago when I was mentioning twin flames to my friends, literally, like, I was always weird. They know I was always weird. But yeah, when I spoke about this, I was always different. They actually deemed me as crazy. They were like, "This can't be real. That's bullshit. That's not real." They even set up an intervention about it and everything. I just stopped talking to these people about this stuff. You cannot ask a 3D person for 5D advice. You just cannot. An unevolved person, an unspiritual person, a person that is not a twin flame cannot give you the advice on a twin flame connection. Unless you've gone through a twin flame or are going through a twin flame connection yourself, you have no idea. And unless you're actually doing that deep introspection and healing, you have no idea. So don't be asking people outside of yourself for twin flame advice. Do not listen to somebody going through a negative experience when you're actually going through your own experience. Don't let anyone else's journey make you doubt your own, because every single twin flame journey is unique to them. Your journey is unique to you. My journey is unique to me. It's not going to look the same as everyone else's. So trust in your process, trust in your journey, and trust in what you feel, because what you feel is very, very real. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I'd love nothing more than to help on your path.